Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the ThePCelitist. My name is Woodsie.
My name is Shepherd.
And today we're talking about your inventory.
Yes.
What do you have in your pockets? Show me.
Cell phone. And keys. And your mother's number.
And how many kilograms do they weigh?
Today I want to talk about inventory systems, particularly in FPS games, but not necessarily, and what's been done, what we think of them, and what I think should be done. So just to kind of recap, inventory systems, they really run the gamut. They can be something like Skyrim or various other games. I think KOA also does this, where you're allowed to carry up to a certain weight. And so items just weigh a different amount, and you can carry whatever you want to up to that certain weight limit. You can increase that limit if you want to. And then sometimes there are penalties, so if you exceed that weight limit, I think in Fallout 3 you weren't allowed to move at all. Other games where if you exceed the weight limit, you can only walk, you can't run. So there are weight-based, so there are weight-based systems. There are also kind of surface area geometric-based systems like Stalker, where you're given this finite grid pattern of maybe 10 by 20, whatever units you want to use for the grid. And you can fit things in there on a 2D grid pattern, but you have to kind of make them fit, kind of like a puzzle. You can't fill it up with 5 of this type of gun because you just can't make that block structure work. And so it's a bit of kind of a geometric weight system. So there are those, and then there are others like old Doom games, for example. You have 9 weapon slots, and you have your pistol, shotgun, machine gun, plasma rifle, rocket launcher. So you have all these slots, and it's just you have 9 weapons, and you fill these 9 slots. And then there are also ones that a lot of modern FPSs are doing, where you can have 2 primary weapons. You always have your pistol and your knife, and you have 2 primary weapons, which can be almost whatever you want, and you can kind of switch those out with guns that are on the ground.
Right.
What have you, whatever. Really, sometimes you'd want to be more tactical. I want a silenced SMG, and then I want more of my long range. And so you can have those choices, but you're really only limited to those 2 primary weapons. And then still others, like a class system like BF3, where you have your primary weapon, you have a pistol, and then your auxiliary weapon, be it a rocket launcher, be it your med pack, what have you. So inventory systems, really, they've been done a number of different ways, and I think that that's a very good thing because we get a lot of different flavors. However, actually no, I'll put it this way. So I think that there are certainly pros and cons. I know that you and I both agree that the punishment system of, if you go over this weight, you just can't move anymore. I know that that's realistic in the sense of if you're overburdened, you can't move.
Right.
But I don't like that system because I kind of fundamentally reject the whole... I know it can be realistic in the sense of, you're a human being, you can only carry 60, 80 pounds on your back.
Right.
But it's not so simple as, let me just throw a bunch of shit in my bag. And when it gets really heavy, the more stuff I want to carry, I don't think it should just be this finite threshold of, at 399 pounds or 399 units, I'm fine.
Right.
Add one more, and I suddenly can't move.
Literally the straw that breaks camel back.
Exactly. Make it a progressive system,
right,
where if I have almost nothing, or if I choose to have almost nothing, I'm very fleet-footed. I'm swift. And the more I add, I start noticing my aim is a little more off.
Right.
If you're going to do that kind of system, I think it should be progressive. The 9 weapon slot system, I think a lot of games don't really use that anymore because it's a little ridiculous. And plus, there's no reason... Excuse me. No one really uses 9 different weapons.
I actually like
Doom,
the 9 weapons.
did. It's fun, certainly, but if you want realism in a game, it's kind of the farthest from real you can get.
Right.
The geometric system, I think, is interesting just because it makes you kind of strategize and it forces you to think an extra layer of challenge, how you can fit all this stuff together.
Right.
And I do like the 2-weapon system where you can kind of switch in and out, but here is my desire. If you're going to do that, let's say you have a shotgun and an SMG. I want to see if there is a third-person view. I want to see that other weapon slung over your shoulder. I don't want it to disappear. I don't want it to be in this backpack. I want to see it. And if I switch weapons, I want it to actually be cumbersome. Because you're not going to just suddenly press Q and switch automatically to your other weapon.
Right.
I think that you have to punish a player for switching a weapon. You ran out of ammo and you didn't reload fast enough. Guess what? You have a 3-second window where you're going to die.
Right.
What do you think of the current inventory systems? And are there any I didn't mention?
I think you covered all of them. I think one of my favorite... It depends on the game's style. I think if you're looking at a game like Fallout, I think there should be a progressive punishment for carrying heavier weapons. I think it would be you could work it into the realism of the game. If you're carrying a bunch of crap on you, well, obviously you can't be very stealth. If you're carrying light stuff, you can be more stealthy. So it would make sense for a character who wants to sneak around and fall out. All you want is your rifle, and it makes
or all you want is a pistol and a knife.
Yeah, and you're super quiet, right? So that's cool. Not just that straw that breaks the camel's back. If you're going to use a grid inventory system, I love the grid inventory system. But if you're going to do it, I want to be able to rotate stuff.
Yeah.
I hate it.
That's true.
When the guns can only go in like one way.
Yeah,
I want to rotate
exactly.
it like Resident Evil 4. Let you like, how's this going to fit?
I do think that system is interesting because it's, in terms of where does this come from, like the weight thing is, you carry a certain amount of weight, you put it in your pack. But a grid system is, how am I carrying a large flat, like am I carrying like a poker chip case?
Right.
That is just this flat, finite box. Like, where is this stuff going that I'm able to work this grid system? And I'd love to see the third-person view of you standing over your pack, just rotate this fucking thing. Smash it down. I can roll up this t-shirt.
Sitting on the suitcase and closing the two
At
clasps.
least show me that.
Right.
Yes, suitcase.
I agree with you that in third-person mode, I want to see weapons on your back.
Oh, certainly.
If not all of them, most of them. I want to see grenades, I want to see guns, I want to see everything.
Yeah, that does bother me, though, about Terra, how you have this huge lance, this huge axe, and you put it on your back, and suddenly the staff shrinks 4 feet.
Right.
So it fits on your back.
Well, all the weapons in Terra are way too big.
Yeah, they are.
It makes sense.
In a glorious way.
It makes sense and it doesn't. Because this world is filled with monsters way bigger than you. So you would think you need a big axe for a big monster, right?
Right.
But then the weapons need to shrink because you need to still like go through a doorway every once in a while.
Yeah.
So anyway,
just leave
the technology
hanging.
of this world accommodates it.
Yeah,
they
certainly.
figured out how to make weapons shrink
Certainly.
to human size.
On your back.
For an action game, I would say one of the best inventory systems was the hybrid. I really don't like action shooters that do the 2-weapon thing. And I'll explain why. I don't think it leads to fun gameplay where you could throw things at the player that they won't expect. Because it's so nice to be able to just, oh my gosh, there's this thing, and pull out your BFG.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I've been saving this mini nuke, right?
Yeah.
So
this
to
tac
me,
launcher for this one moment.
right, Crysis had one of the best inventory systems. You could only carry 2 assault rifles, and it was all based on preference. I really like the way the AK-47...
Always had a stealthy one and always had a powerful one.
Yeah. Beautifully done, right? And then, or a shotgun, it was like, or a sniper rifle, and that. So, like, your normal traditional weapons were only 2. But then you had your mines and your rockets and your other stuff.
Yeah.
Like all your explosives.
And that sort of fills slots. You have an explosive weapon slot. You just haven't picked up the rocket launcher yet.
Right.
Once you do, then it's there until you run out of ammo.
Right.
Also, just to quickly mention, like, for example, in a lot of RPG games, you also have like a backpack that has a finite number of slots. Right. That's another inventory system. But
yeah.
I
don't like the weight thing unless it's implemented right. But I like the Crysis model. I like the Half-Life model, which is a lot like the Crysis model. I wish that action games like Battlefield, like what you were saying about weapon switching, I wish there was like more realistic weapon switching. Like if I'm going to put away my assault rifle and pull out my handgun, I want it to take long. And if you can't do that, there should be an option just to throw my assault rifle on the ground.
Yeah, drop it. Or throw it at the player.
Or there should be why isn't that? Why can't that be done? Like that would be cool.
In a firefight, I'm gonna get my second gun as soon as possible.
Right.
So I'm not gonna sling it back over my shoulder. I'm gonna drop that shit and grab my pistol.
Right. And it would be cool, like, just to drop it on the ground and you like survive this fight by throwing your assault rifle, pulling out a handgun, killing everyone in the room, and then like go collect all your weapons.
In the like a boss slow motion camera mode.
Yeah. You're just picking up, they're all covered in blood and stuff. Yeah, I would love something like that. I think that would be fun. Again, where realism you could apply to make it more fun.
Exactly. I think that particularly for shooters, and this is kind of a sticking point for me, and we've mentioned this in the prior videos, as it pertains to inventory, ammo is a big one. Because ammo typically doesn't show up in your inventory. It's kind of attached to the gun.
Right.
So like in these inventory systems where you don't really have any sort of backpack like Battlefield, you just have your primary weapon and you have all your ammo. Two things. One, I think that, well, frankly, just for me, if I have a 30-round clip, I shoot 15 shots, I physically see the character eject the clip and put a new one in, I need to lose those 15 bullets that are remaining in that clip. For me, that's a sticking point, because that is tactical gameplay 101. It's the cost-benefit analysis of, do I want to risk it and not and keep these bullets and not lose them for the long term,
right,
or do I want to risk using them all and there are still 2 guys standing?
Right.
To me, that is a must-have in the next shooter I play. It's not a what's that term? Deal breaker.
Right.
It's not a deal breaker, but I really want to see it.
Or with the mouse, you physically take out each bullet out of the clip and put it in a new clip.
No, it's not like reloading a musket using WASD. So that's one thing. But I also think that just ammo in general, it's not realistic for me to be carrying 96 rounds for my pistol, 180 rounds for my SMG, 3 extra rockets, 5 grenades,
right,
6 mines. If I'm doing that, I need to have a huge backpack. And there are 2 ways to attack this, and one of them is more far-fetched. I don't think it's going to happen. The first one, more realistic, is just cut down on the ammo, frankly. And what you end up having is, like, for example, the third-person view. I want to be able to see, or know, or even pre-configure in battle. Do I want to have 6 clips from my handgun? If I don't use my handgun very much, can I carry only 30 rounds for it and a couple extra clips for my primary weapon? Do I want to, if I'm a sniper and I know I'm going to be in some remote place, I don't carry anything else.
Right.
I have a sniper rifle, I have all of these clips, and then maybe 1 claymore.
Right.
That kind of customization I think would be cool, realistic, and fun, certainly. The other more far-fetched way is, if there's a support class, make his job just to carry ammo. You need to keep, and he can have a pistol, fine. He can have a pistol, because he's carrying ammo, he's carrying a bunch of stuff, give him a pistol, but his job is to load up his body and his backpack with ammo. And if you wanted, and the realism, it only goes so far. I'm not going to say you have to, stand behind him, open up his backpack, get the ammo. But he should be able to drop a box.
Right.
And it's a manageable, maybe like a briefcase-sized box. He can drop a box on the ground, and if people want to restock, that's where they get it. And this guy then could play an immensely important role and get a lot of points, but he's pretty much defenseless.
Right.
That's kind of far-fetched in terms of, can it be done, should it be done, will it be done? But it's at least worth talking about.
Well, I also want to just make a sidebar note to... Right now, there's somebody thinking, this has been done, and it's in X game, or X mod, what have you. Right now. I just want to say that these things aren't, these aren't deal breakers, as you said.
Yeah.
I'd rather play Battlefield 3 with a vibrant community and a fun physics engine and just all the craziness that comes with Battlefield 3. I would just wish it aired on the side of realism.
We're nitpicking
more.
here,
Yeah, we're nitpicking. I'm not going to pick a game based on the fact that it has a realistic clip system.
Yeah, just because it has this stuff. Because it won't be fun for everyone, frankly. This what I'm describing, the things we're describing, would be a niche game, I think.
And it's things that can be added. There could be just a mode in Battlefield, realism mode. And you'd have all the fun stuff that's in Battlefield 3, and if a physics engine makes Battlefield 3 fun. It just does. Seeing a helicopter just crash land into a tank to take it out, and it explode in the most fun way ever, is part of the fun of Battlefield 3.
And I can't tell you how many moments where, if I wish I could record it, where something like that will happen, and you'll hear Woodsie go, "Wow!"
So I just want to point that out before there's this game does it. Yeah, well, if the game as a whole is not that fun, but it has realistic clip system, it's not gonna fly with me.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's just, I just want to make sure to make that point. Anyway, was that it?
Yeah, it's 15 minutes. I think that's it. But that's really, what do you all think about the topics we've mentioned here? Inventory systems, and is this one of those elements of gameplay where the more realistic it is, the more fun it could potentially be?
Right.
Up to a point, of course.
Right. Anyway,
quick note.
Yes.
I do think weapons should degrade. In a more RPG, like a stalker type of game, I know you could kind of repair weapons. Right. I do think weapons should degrade over time, and you should have to maintain them.
Gotcha. But is that viable in a multiplayer game?
No. Multiplayer game, you die too quickly. It doesn't matter. And it would suck if your gun just jammed and some guy killed you. It'd be like being killed by bad luck in Battlefield. That shit is awful.
Which happens all the time.
All the time.
My name is Woodsie.
My name is Shepherd. We are the PC Elitists, and we're signing out.